Hello and welcome to another video. I am Calypso the Oracle. Normally I have tarot videos, but today I am doing just a video on New Age to Jesus. If you all, I'm willing to bet majority of people have not seen the first maybe 10 to 15 videos that I had on my channel. They were not tarot videos. They were about healing, doing shadow work, victimization, how to raise your vibration, how to be successful, stuff like that. That's what the first probably 15 videos that I put out there on. So, and I've also said before, I'm just like, I don't know how my channel is going to turn out, because I'm going to change in how spirit needs me or wants me to change. Okay. Energy, has to flow. Energy is constantly changing. It does not stay the same. Okay. If things stay the same, then you're stagnant. But anyway, so what's prompted me to put this New Age to Jesus video is a video I saw 3 years ago by Conjure Queen. I've been following Conjure Queen for a couple of years now. But, sometimes when it's like you go onto some people's page, you can't find all of their videos and stuff. But, anyways, this came up, 3 years ago, and she had a video called New Age to Jesus, and during her video, she suggested that more of us put out titles on their videos that says New Age to Jesus to tap into the algorithm of, YouTube. We ain't even gonna get into all of that, but it's just to help. Part of it is to help people who are new to the occult, new to magic, divination, stuff like that, to help them to understand that it is okay. Don't be afraid, because there's just too many confusing things going out here. And so it's like, that's the bittersweet part of the age of technology. We have so much access to so much knowledge. At the same time, it can be detrimental to somebody, to people, because we can actually become trapped by knowledge. And just because you have all of this knowledge, it doesn't make you a wise individual as well. Okay? So we have to be wise with the knowledge that we acquire and develop an inner understanding of it, So basically what I wanted to put out there is, I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience, and then I guess share some pointers that I guess you can say I wish I knew before, or, just some good pointers before diving deep into things. So basically, I was a Christian. Okay. I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness from as long as I can remember, and I left at the age of 25. This was back in 2016. 2016 was my major awakening. I'm going to call it my spiritual awakening, because I've had awakenings before that actually helped me to do research on other things, such as the food industry, and learning and understanding things about the government and what they doing to our food, stuff like that, and just pretty much understanding how the food industry works, FDA and all that kind of stuff. But 2016 was actually when I had my spiritual awakening, is when I actually broke down. I left Jehovah's Witnesses, and I started doing my own research. I did my research on Jehovah's Witnesses and comparing them to other religions and stuff like that. I was doing research on the Knights Templar and the Masons, and learning about, a little bit about astrology and the pentagram. Learning about chi. Now my oldest sibling was helped me a little bit with learning about chi. She helped me make my first chi ball, and feel and understand it. She taught me about dowsing. And then I had a lady from work in 2016. We worked at Amazon together, and she took me to my first psychic fair, and that was when I actually bought my first crystal. And that's when I learned about what tarot was. I actually had my first tarot reading done there. I bought my first crystal there, my bloodstone. I don't know where it's at now, but it comes and go. One minute it's showing up, and then years I have no idea where it is, and then it pops up years later. So I don't know what that's about, but it was a bloodstone, and I'm losing my lighting already. That was my first crystal. And then from then on, I just learned stuff. I will never forget her name, Miss Betty. She even took me to, we had a group, what do you call it? It was like a group reading when you get a group together, and we just kind of like have a base pay to pay the energy reader. And his name was Doug. He was a good reader. He is, I don't know if he still reads, but he was an intuitive reader, and he used crystals, and it was pretty awesome. This guy was awesome. And so I guess you can say that was like my journey from 2016 to 2020. I did that. Like, I would go and do readings, and I'll go to psychic fairs. I would learn about, crystals and all. I was trying to learn about chakras and meditation and all of that kind of stuff. So it's like during my first couple of years, I didn't really, this is me personally, I didn't really dive in to a lot of things because I didn't understand it really. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. So at the time, I was just kind of like taking knowledge, and I guess you can say I was straddling the fence. Okay, I didn't really get off that fence until 2021. And 2021 is when my gifts exploded. My gifts exploded in 2021, and now it is 2023. I've developed even more gifts, and I'm able to understand myself. I know who I am. I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's like all those gaps has filled. I guess you can say those empty holes of just knowing who you are and knowing what, what's real and what's not real. And, so I just advise people who are afraid to not be afraid. Okay, just do your research first and do a little bit at a time. And I do remember too, in 2017, I did with the help of my oldest sibling. She helped. We did a candle ritual. That was my first candle ritual for something, and it was very interesting. So like, I just got my feet wet with little bits, and I did my own research, whether it was books or YouTube or the internet itself. And so if things didn't resonate with me, I didn't hold on to it. I just let it go. But one of the biggest things people are afraid of is other spirits or demons or dark entities. Some people would just jump right in without knowing, in a sense, the do's and the don'ts. Like, say, for instance, just automatically creating altars and all that kind of stuff. One thing that I would advise is, first of all, learning how to protect yourself and protecting your energy before you go off messing with other entities. So when you are setting up like a ancestral altar, okay, even an altar for yourself, that is another entity that you are trying to invoke upon. Okay, so one of the things that is key is knowing that you must protect yourself, not be afraid, but protect yourself from any beings that are not benevolent to you. Okay, and another thing that some of us don't understand, tapping into that, is that we open ourselves up when we mess with different types of energies and stuff, whether it's crystals, if you're doing candle magic, if you're working on the altar, you using yourself as a portal. Okay, so I think that's where some of people who left New Age and went back to Jesus, they've had encounters. I've heard of people having encounters with having spirit, being afraid of spirits in their home, or one person in particular, a person I used to watch, talked about being assaulted by a demon. So like I said, each person's story is different, but it is very possible, if you don't set clear intentions, that you can invite the wrong beings into your house. Okay? And then two, I'm gonna talk about this experience I had living in a house. And I wasn't in this house for long, and I was, into my spiritual stuff, but when I went into this house to say a prayer for, asking the house to welcome my energy, as I kneeled down in the house to bless the house, I had this nasty, dark, sad, sorrow, shadowy energy come over me. And the moment I felt that, as I was like praying, I'm just like, oh crap, what did I just get myself into? So the house that I was living in had some not so nice beings, I believe, in there. And then at the time I had a 3-year-old, and I would still not know 100% completely, but I believe at least once a spirit had locked my child in the closet, because there was no way that he could close the door in the strength that was needed, because the door was one of those doors where you had to like kind of like run your hip into or your body into it to close it. And the way that it was closed, I just don't see how that my 3-year-old could have done that. And I didn't even know how long he was in the closet, because I remember I was in the living room and he was in his room, and I just remember I'm just like, what is that noise? And then I heard him crying, and I opened the door, and it broke my heart so bad. But when he was 2 years old, he began to see spirits. But now he's 4, and I'm pretty sure he's pretty much done blocked and rejected his spiritual gifts because he doesn't understand. And so now what he's faced with is a fear of darkness and being alone. But I don't see him talking about seeing spirits anymore. He used to say monster, monster, and he would point, but he don't do that no more. And even at that house, he was actually communicating with a baby. He actually kept going to the same place in the house and saying, come here, baby, come here, baby. And I know I believed him, because actually the person who owned the house actually let me know that a toddler was deceased in that house. A toddler died in that house. And so I believe that was the spirit that he was actually seeing, but there was other spirits that made him very comfortable, and he would just stand there. He would stand there and like look at him, and then sometimes he'll point and say, monster, monster. But I didn't like that house, and I remember I had a sleep paralysis thing, and something tried to pull me off the bed. So that it's possible to encounter, spirits wherever you go, and you don't have to necessarily tap into, the occult or whatever to encounter these spirits or these beings. But to demonize a way of life, especially a way of life that existed before religion, that doesn't sound right to me. That sounds like someone is trying to scare people into not being able to learn the truth and learn how to get ahead in life. This stuff was practiced before religion. Paganism that people, call pagan, oh, that's pagan, and, whatever. Okay, well, paganism or witchcraft and, Wiccan and all that kind of stuff, that was here before religion. And according to my research, the Israelites actually worshipped another being before Yahweh. Okay. So the Israelites worship more than one deity before Yahweh came through and said, no, I am the true God and y'all must worship me only. But yeah, the times has changed, and if I'm not mistaken, according to my research as well, the Bible came on the scene and was enforced by, I want to say it was Constantine. Constantine, do your own research. But this guy is the one who forced Christianity and forced the Bible onto people. Okay. And I'm not sitting here knocking anybody else. I just feel like to each is their own, you know. And I don't even know where I'm going on with this, this conversation, but I feel like I have so much to say, and I feel like I'm trying to like say it all at once. But what else could I talk about? I guess I can go ahead and add in. I'm pretty sure I've already said that you should work your way up to things. Don't just dive right in, okay? And I feel like, I feel like it's like coming out of a religion and then jumping right into using a Ouija board. That's just kind of how I feel. I feel like it's important to strengthen yourself, work yourself up. What's that, like endurance? Like them runners, they have to, like, if they getting prepping themselves for like a 5K run or something like that, it's like they work their way up to it. They don't just go out there and train to say, oh, I'm going to do this 5K. No, they do this over a period of time, building up their stamina, their endurance to finally go into this 5K. And so that's why I feel like people should start doing is working their way up. And so I feel like you should work on yourself, understanding yourself and how you feel when it comes to energy, meditation, connecting with yourself first, I believe. Understanding how the mind and the body works. Because I remember that when I was starting into spirituality, the big thing on the law of attraction was out. And The Secret, the they had the book and they had the movie, The Secret. And then I remember watching that movie and I'm just like, this doesn't seem much like a big secret. I feel like the movie was just like stretched out, and I felt like it was kind of like clickbait in a sense. Like I feel like they just, I don't know how to explain it. Like it was, I don't know, like a trend, or like I don't know what it is, but it just didn't seem that big of a secret. But I just know that where I am now and my spiritual journey, there is a lot of occult knowledge that I still need to learn, like astrology. That is one thing that I have not yet to tap deep into. Like I dabbled in it for a little while, and actually for a long time I didn't even know what time I was born. I actually had to get that from my mom, and she kind of didn't want to give it to me. And so I think I had to wait like a whole year before she actually finally gave me the time of birth that I was born, so I can do my what do you call it, my natal chart, my birth chart. But along with that, I feel like other people, I feel like it's possible that people try to skip over doing the shadow work. And I've actually put that out in one of my videos when I first started my channel, talking about doing shadow work, and people who don't want to do the healing work. And I see that. I see people with beautiful gifts and they don't want to share their gifts. They don't want to step into their power, but I can see people on social media misleading other people, because I can tell, I can sense that they are not healed, and I see them misleading other people. But shadow work is an important thing that you have to do. You just can't skip out on it. Spirituality isn't just about rainbows and butterflies. You have to do the work. You have to do the inner healing. And I'm saying this too, as this applies to me too, is what I'm saying. So I'm preaching you know, preaching what I teach. So doing the inner work, it's definitely hard, and you can only get so far spiritually without healing those wounds and taking care of those shadow sides of you. I would also like to point out that this is not this all of this is just strictly my opinion, what I've resonated with, the research that I've done. Okay? Do your own research. I'm just sharing my personal opinion, my personal experiences. But people, the Christian, religion, a lot of religions, they condemn and shame divination. They say it's evil, they say it's the devil, but I don't understand, why is it okay for the people back in the Bible days? Come on, Jesus and his disciples practice witchcraft, right? All of them predicted the future, healing the sick, all of that. I know the Bible spoke in parables and whatnot too. So I don't know all that was parables, and I don't know all that was, for real happened. But whatever the case may be, you sitting her talking about this witchcraft stuff that Jesus and his disciples and, Yahweh's followers did in the name of God or in the name of Jesus, but nobody else can do it because we don't call on the name of Jesus or call on the name of Yahweh or God, whoever they are. Okay? So, candle magic, divination, working with crystals, all of this stuff is tools that we can use to help us to elevate, help, better our lives, help us to understand who we are and what we came here to do. Oh my goodness, I feel like I've said a mouthful, but I feel like there is more to be said. I don't know if I should talk about anything else. Because I haven't, well, I guess you could say I've met them, but this was my second siblings. She talked with this place that we lived at. There was a couple people she talked to who used to do tarot and crystals and stuff, and they actually had this long conversation about, why you're not supposed to, why, they talked about, I think, their experiences of why, they stopped doing tarot. And actually, one of the things that struck me, she told me, is that one of the individuals actually still have their tarot cards. And not only that, one of these individuals, I was standing right there, he said, "Ooh, look what I found. This was a crystal." Now, this person didn't do tarot no more. This person went back to Jesus. But the other girl who was sitting at the desk, she knew, she did tarot and she, collected crystals. And she's like, "Ooh, can I have it?" And everything. And he was like, "No, I'm going to keep it." And so I'm saying in my head, I thought you was bashing other people with, who does tarot cards and uses crystals, and you don't do any of that no more. So why would you want to keep it? This person clearly collects them and uses them. And so why would you want to keep them? So, ooh, the sun's moving. I don't know. I feel like I should stop the video right here. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and end it and shout out to Conjure Queen for doing a beautiful job, because personally speaking, she is the one who I don't see anybody else putting things out the way that she does. And I know everybody has their own, way of doing something, but I have to shout out to Conjure Queen for, suggesting that we do this. I know this was 3 years ago, but hey, it's never too late. But also another person I listened to was New Life Tools. I think it's nice to listen to him too, because he actually tapped into the left-hand path, the right-hand path, and the middle path. Excuse me. And he has very good information too. But them two are the only ones. I know there's other people out there. Like, I hear about Brother Panic. People talking about Brother Panic, but I haven't really watched any of his videos. Billy Carson, I listened to some of his stuff too, but I just wish he had his own page or something that he would put out. But I'm mostly getting information from other people using his information for their platform. And so some of it is short and cut off, and it's like, you know, I can't get the full scoop. But Billy Carson is another one with good information. Fleur Brune, I watch Fleur Brune. There was somebody else I was going to say. Hold on. Can't think of them, but I'll probably think of it later. Shoot. Just remember, it's Delbert Blair. My sister taught me, actually introduced me to Delbert Blair. I also would recommend, I mean, there's just other people out there that you can get bits and pieces of. You know, you may not agree totally with what they're saying. You may not resonate totally with what they're saying. But there's some other people out there who resonates on that frequency, like Yakia Awaken. You should hear him talk about, you know, our bodies and how he'll bring out the Bible too, and how the Bible is telling us all about this DNA and, you know, the information and stuff. The way that he breaks it down, him breaking down our DNA, amazing. But there's other people out there too, and I guess I'm gonna leave it here. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. Give this video a thumbs up if you like the content. Throw in a comment, you know. And I don't know. I guess I'll see you in another video.